Okay, good afternoon and welcome back to Allergic to Stupidity. I hope everybody's having a good time. I hope you found people or started to find people that you can chit chat to online or go out for coffee or spring's coming, so a nice cool cup of something to make you feel like you're not in this the events all by yourself. And that maybe together, working together, we can build ourselves a boat or a ship that's going to allow us to survive all the turmoil that's going to go on for at least the next 3 or 4 years. Because even if Donald Trump disappears tomorrow, all the world problems that have happened are not going to quietly vanish. So, one of my things is standing up to bullies or their bullies. We have been very successful at standing up to Donald Trump and his tariffs and putting him in his place, hopefully, and make him realize he can't just come in and tell us what to do and threaten us with tariffs and think we're just going to roll over and let him have the tariffs. The American people have also been doing it and standing up to his get rid of the DEI, which is diversity, and I can never remember the E, and inclusiveness. And a lot of big companies just went along with them. Let's continue to enable the guy by canceling that program. The president said, do this. Well, it didn't pass the Congress and it didn't pass the Senate, didn't even get there. So really, it's just one man in a fancy office saying this is what you're supposed to do. And he is not the king. So Target has stood up to him. No, I take it back. Target has folded underneath them. Amazon has folded, and so has Walmart. And people are literally boycotting those three major ones. They are not buying anything from Amazon, Walmart, or Target. And people are watching their numbers, their sales drop steadfast, like noticeably. We're not just talking it's down a bit, it's down a lot. Let me just flip the light on so the lighting becomes a little better here. Okay. So, I mean, it's not just us Canadians saying just buy Canadian products and we won't touch the Americans. The Americans are also starting to stand up to them too. And if you are in Canada, there is a movement to completely 100% boycott any American companies on tomorrow, the 27th, which just means just don't go shop there. So Staples, Amazon, which that one's the other one is Best Buy. Costco, Costco has told Trump, no, we're going to keep the DEI program, and he's upset about it. So we can see how just the average Joe is making a difference. Now, one of the companies that I've always boycotted is Nestle. And one of the reasons I boycott Nestle, and I obviously thought it's an American company, actually, it's out of Switzerland, it's a Swiss company. But there's the gentleman out of their head office, one of their head offices in California, that said water is a commodity and humans need to control it. Water is a basic need. No water, you die. You will die of dehydration faster than you'll die of starvation. Simple as that. It is a necessity for every living creature. So that was one of the reasons I boycotted them. Two, they're the ones that were really pushing carry water all the time and push carrying your bottle of water. It's just easy. You'll always have your water with you. Yeah, turn on the tap. And I have literally run into people coming into the shop I was working at, going, I need a bottle, I need some water. And I sarcastically went, just turn a tap on and you get water. And her boyfriend, because she looked at me, she said, no, I need real water. And I'm looking at her stymied, going, yeah, what comes out of the tap is water. It's H2O. And her boyfriend went, no, it has to be bottled water. And I went, okay, it's back cooler has gone. And she put it on my finger. She said, this is real water. What comes out of your tap is not real. And I looked at the boyfriend with this, what the fuck? Look, and he went, I have tried to explain. She's not getting it. So that was one of the reasons why I boycott them, is because the push for bottled water, we don't need it, but also because the concept that It should be a commodity. It should be on the stock market, which unfortunately now it is. It's water. Are we going to start making air a commodity? Come on, guys. So here is a page of, there we go, their latest exploits. Let's come up with some reasons to boycott Nestle. Okay. So this is where I found out that actually Nestle is out of Switzerland. That was a surprise. Okay. So here's the first one. Okay, 2018, they penned the case against Nestle and launched the Nestle pledge, commitment consumers to disavow themselves from Nestle. So if you get candy at Christmas time and Quality Street is a Nestle product, but Nestle has realized that people don't like them. So it's Nestle's on the can, but it's at the back on the bottom and it's small, but it's still labeled, but you have to go look for it. So here's some reasons why. In 1970, Nestle aggressively marketed infant formula to mothers in overexploited countries, sometimes even paying the healthcare staff to start feeding formulas to babies. The Swiss company did this knowing that the mother's ability to lactate could be compromised, or babies could start rejecting breast milk. Okay? Because of that, many of the mothers lacked access to clean water, which is part of the problem, right? You have to take your baby formula, mix it with water to make up the milk, but it's not clean water because of where the people are living. But breast milk would be fine. And that ended up with a lot of infants having malnutrition and even death. So that was the first boycott, and they called it the baby killer. Well, that's a little. Okay, here's the one that comes from me. Has the reputation of exploiting freshwater resources to turn profit in its plastic bottling operations. Okay, companies being criticized for pumping millions of gallons of water from California forests during the 2011-2017 drought. Okay, allows for that would be one. Look how cheap that is. The company also has spotted history in the Midwest, pumping hundreds of gallons of water per minute from, this is the Everett, Missouri, even as a lack of clean water in nearby Flint caused lead poisoning in its residents. So you can see why you want to be boycotting anything that's Nestle. It's Nestle candy, Nestle water, anything that's got these guys' name on it, boycott it. We have to send the message loud and clear that this is not good. For me, in the Guelph area, they were extracting groundwater, which I have a really big problem with because groundwater is not replaced as quickly as people like to think it is. People think it rain, you get 2 inches of rain, that 2 inches is going to go into groundwater. It doesn't work that way. Some of it is soaked into the plant and the vegetation. Some of it's runoff. Not all of that 2 inches is going to become groundwater. So just because you had 2 inches of rain today does not mean your well goes up by 2 inches. Now, so the one outside of Guelph in Aberfoyle, they were pumping out the groundwater, which was causing problems for the farmers and anybody who was in the local area. So that was one of the reasons I was boycotting. They did the same thing in British Columbia. People in British Columbia actually won and got them to stop. Here's another one. The company uses palm oil in many of its products, and they're pushing over exploitation of palm oil and cocoa for Nestle, but that's taking out the rainforests, and we need the rainforest. And because of that, it's causing a link to extreme environmental degradation and human rights abuses. Anything for that bottom dollar. So Nestle, please boycott 100%. Okay. There we go. A lot of this is water. Now, for those of you that desperately need, for whatever reason, want to be carrying a bottle of water, if you go to Coca-Cola's brand, at least in Southern Ontario, Theirs is literally, which I always find humorous, especially with my lady who had to get the real water. It's literally taken from Mississauga's water. So it's literally pumped out of Lake Ontario, goes through the filtration system so we know it's clean, and then bottled. So they're not taking groundwater. They're not endangering people's wells. They're not endangering wildlife. They're not endangering anything. They're taking it right out of Lake Ontario and bottling it and selling it to you. Okay. A lot of this is water. Okay. Now, as Nestle looks for buyers to some of its smaller farms, the firm also sold its North American brand of pasta earlier this year. This sale follows several other notable removals from their product line. Their ice cream, don't touch it. You want a good ice cream, get Chapman's. It's Canadian, and it's not just it's Canadian, guys. It's good. It's really nice. So, and it's not as expensive. Like a hot summer day, and I just go to the cooler at the local convenience store. Unfortunately, more times than not, it's a Nestle product in there. So I walk out without a cool something. But Chapman's is really good. I like Chapman's. Okay. Um, I get questionable when it's aggressively pushing towards plant-based market. So us vegetarians and vegans, thinking that is going to make it better. They're going to greenwash, which if you didn't know what greenwashing is to make it look like they're being environmentally friendly when really they're not. So my best example is those liners for your compost bucket. They say they're environmentally friendly and that they will decompose. They will under certain situations. So they will not decompose in my compost pile in the back. Even if I ran my compost bucket pile in the back 100% perfect, it would not. I still have bits and pieces of those bags kicking around in my compost pile. And that was from 2 or 3 years ago when my tenant bought the bags to make it easier to clean the bucket. And I just don't. I'll just wash it out. So now here's another one. Some of these we want to take with, I want proof of it. This is the human rights issue. Former child slaves trafficked in Mala brought a case against Nestle USA, alleging the companies were aware of the child slavery practices in their suppliers and enabling these practices through lack of oversight. So their point in that one is that, no, did Nestle intentionally hire child labor or child slaves? No, but they knew that the people they were getting the stuff from, the raw material from, were doing it. So they need to have their ethics brought up. Okay, there's my short for today on Nestle. Now, of course, they're going to, Nestle lawyers are going to argue that the law applies to the individual and not the corporation. We're just buying the products. But there is an ethics there that you need to stand up behind as a company. If you want me to buy your product, then you have to show me ethical practices. Nestle made $8.9 billion last year in candy alone. And yet we'll say they're not responsible for the suppliers. So simply because my brain is there, Hitler will say he did not kill a single Jew. And Hitler, the man, did not take a gun and kill a single Jew. He had his SS do it. And the SS will say, well, it's not our responsibility, it's Hitler's responsibility because he made us do it. So these suppliers, they're at fault for having the child laborers, but Nestle's also at fault for buying stuff from the suppliers who were using child labor and child slaves. Yeah, dang it, right? There's my quote, not my quote, but even the firm that supplied the gas, which the Nazis used to kill millions, were not indicted. They should have been. They're only selling gas. They didn't know what Nazis, please note the dripping sarcasm, where it's going to use it. That's the lawyer's argument. Okay. Please, this article's a little old, 2021, that Nestle is one of the most boycotted countries in the world. And it really may seem very difficult to boycott everything that's Nestle. It really is. Like, oh, but they're so big and they own so many companies. And yeah, they do. I've seen that the charts, it says what each of these big, massive, multi-conglomerate companies own. But you can start off with anything that says Nestle on it, don't buy it. And then as we got our 2 little kittens that you've seen here, when we went in the first time to get food for them, my 20-year-old, my grandson, was sitting there with his phone, 3 cheers for smartphones. And I said, okay, that one. And he punched up, nope, that's Nestle. Okay. And we went till we found one, which is IAMS. And that's the one we use because it's not owned by Nestle. And we can't find anything bad. Not saying there isn't, but we can't find anything directly connected. And right now, I'm looking for a cat food that's Canadian. IAMS is not Canadian, but I'm looking for one. But you have to take the extra step. And we can tell that Nestle is feeling the pinch by simple things like Quality Street, and the Nestle name is still on the label, but it's small and it's in the corner. Where their chocolate bars like Coffee Crisp, great big right across the top, it says Nestle. Okay? Because if you have a good reputation, you want your brand out there. You want people to see your brand so that they will buy it. So therefore, you want it big because you know your brand has a good reputation. So Volkswagen doesn't hide its little W. Dodge doesn't hide its little, or Chrysler doesn't hide its little star, because they have a good brand and it's a well-known brand, it's a well-liked brand, so they want people to see it. So when Nestle starts hiding their label, then you know things aren't so great, and that they know it's not so great. So just keep pushing it. Don't buy it. But like I said, because of the water and the guy coming out of California and screaming and saying, well, it's a commodity, humans should be able to control it. That's why I thought it was an American company, because that article I'd read a few years ago was out of California. So, but it's actually a Swiss company, but there's one to boycott. Okay, there you go. I hope everybody's feeling good. I hope people are doing what they can to stand up to the big bullies that are out there, even the little bullies out there. Please like, subscribe, and share. At least you know you got someplace that you can come and listen to somebody rant and rave, and you hopefully will not feel alone. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.